In this video I'm going to look at a Cobra wood chipper. Chips up to 3-inch diameter branches. It's got a 6.5 horsepower Lonkin engine, 196cc as you can see on the label. Power, well, 6.5 horsepower or 4.1 kilowatts. It's got an hour meter here, so 0.1 hours. It's just been run to check the machine over that it's working. It's a neat little chipper just to push onto a trailer. Got an adjustable chute for discharging the chippings. Get out of the sun there. Just loosen one of the bolts and push that up or down. You could fill a bag or into a wheelbarrow, or in this case I'm going to blast it all into the hedge and spread it out. Made sure I got one with a fairly wide feeding chute. This one is I think it's about 50 centimeters across by 40 centimeters up and down. Got a rubber flap in there, handles for pushing it around. It's got a safety cut-off bar on the side of the feeding chute, so that comes right back to here, so you just have to lean against it or push it with your hand and that cuts the engine off. Little storage container on the side. You could put a small bottle of water in there, but it's got a few spanners in there, a couple of other spanners. So you can open the feeding chute. There's a couple of bolts here, just take those off and you can push this out of the way. It's hinged on the other side, so you can just open it up. If you have a blockage or something in the roller, then you can sort that problem out then. This is the belt cover for the belts on the side. Easy to unbolt and take off by the looks of it. Again, you could take the discharge chute off. It's got 4 bolts here. If you needed to clear it out, you've got oil dipstick and filler here, and the same on the other side. There's some spare wiring here because this is the pull start engine version. You can get one with a key start. But I'm happy just to pull the engine and start it. I've just opened the feed chute. It's got 2 nuts that come off here and here. It's got this is the wheel inside with 2 blades. You can see the edge of the blade there, rotates down like that. It's quite a heavy wheel. You can feel it's been greased because it's new. Some weight. It's got good anchor points for loading strap, just on the chute here. It's pretty solid. Got it fueled up now, ready to go. It's got an old-fashioned fuel cap where it only works one way around. You've got the 2 slots. For some reason it's a bit fiddly. What's going on with that then? Well, that was a bit more fiddly than it needed to be. This inside bit had rotated around like that and it locked into. Anyway, that had spun somehow inside there, so you couldn't line up the cap. Yeah, a bit more fiddly than that needed to be. got a filter in there that can be pulled out and cleaned. Well, that's what the main thing is. Perhaps it should be going that way. Take it out. Put it that way. Let's try it again. Fiddly than it needs to be. It's quite a heavy lump to push around, but it's got these handy handles here. Just put a bit of weight on those and push it. It's quite a heavy engine. It's not too bad though, as long as you're not going uphill, I suppose. I wasn't sure whether to get a machine like this, which is small and portable, or one to go on the back of the tractor, which would be a bit more expensive. But this one, as I said, will go up to 3-inch diameter. Any bigger than that, I would cut the wood up and keep for logs anyway, just for a small wood burner. So I'm hoping I'm mainly going to use it with hedge trimming and small branches that need trimming beside hedges with the chainsaw. Some wood chippers have got 2 rollers to draw the wood in. This one's just got 1 roller, and so it's relying partly on gravity then, and once the wheel blades grab it, hopefully it'll pull it all through by itself. Otherwise I think a certain amount of shoving will be needed, but I won't be pushing my hands right down there anyway. I've just got a few light branches along this hedgerow. I'm hoping it's going to go through small stuff I've cut with a chainsaw, as well as all the hedge trimmings from the hedge trimmer. Most of this stuff here is hawthorn, which is pretty bushy, thorny, horrible stuff, and it seems to be getting quite constricted in the bottom of the feeding chute. So as it doesn't have the 2 wheels to pull it through, it does need shoving down a bit, otherwise you get stuff just gets caught up, and if it chops the bottom off, it just leaves you with the bits at the bottom. So I've just made myself a special tool. It's called a shover, about 4 foot length piece of branch. It's difficult to cut the side bits off these. It would feed better if you could trim some of the side branches off, which sort of takes you forever then, you know, like this I just made that thing out of, but this is a piece of ash which isn't as bushy. But if you've got a side branch, sometimes it's not going to pull it through. Shover. Right, so the machine's up to 2.3 hours now, so that's one job done with it. Pros and cons with the machine. Seems to be a very safe machine to use, what with the safety cut-off bar. I've had quite a few branches where the bushy branches have caught the cut-off and they've cut the engine out. That's happened a few times, but it restarts pretty easily, so it's not too much of a problem. It's a good safety feature. And you've got these rubber flaps here. They help stop chippings coming back up towards you, although most of it ends up out the front, but you could get a few little bits bouncing back up. The cutter seems to go through anything up to sort of 3-inch diameter, but where you've got a bit of a knuckle or an awkward shape, sometimes it's difficult to shove it through the narrow bit at the bottom. A bigger chipper would have 2 rollers and pull things through better. The smaller ash branches, threw them straight through and they went through no problem, but anything like hawthorn or something a bit more bushy, you tend to have to ram it down with another branch, which can be a bit tiring after a few hours, but it's not too bad. Is it the right machine for my business? I'm not sure, because it's a little bit slow for me feeding it through when you've got a lot of stuff to get rid of. If you were just using it in your garden, then it would be an ideal machine for that. The engine's been running reliably whilst I've been using it. Every time I've stopped it and restarted it, it started first pull. So that's seems to be a good engine in the short time it's been used anyway. It says on the plate on the side it weighs 100 kilograms, so it's quite a heavy lump to push about. Ideally I think it should have slightly bigger wheels, because when you go into little dips in the ground, it can be quite hard to push over uneven ground because you've got the weight of it, but on pavements and flat ground, no problem really. So my impressions of the machine are that it's quite a robust, well-made machine. It's pretty solid. It looks pretty easy to maintain. You've got the easy access points by just undoing the nuts on the side there. Air filter on top, easy to check and clean out. Pretty good machine, but as I said, not sure if it's right for my work. It might not be sort of time efficient enough, having to push everything through. That's the main downside with these chippers. And the more you spend on a chipper, the easier it is to use, it would seem. Because if you buy one of these cheap electric ones from like an Argos type shop, you know, they're pathetic. You try and get twigs through those things, they just you won't get through much with those. So this is a heavy duty machine. I need to have a think whether it's right for my business. Anyway, thanks for watching.